Hey friends and fellow readers, this is Ms. Herbaceous talking to you today about creating compound sentences. We've been discussing through the weeks how to make short, simple sentences. Compound sentences are for today, so make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil ready to write down this anchor chart and follow along because we've got a lot of information on compound sentences coming up. So when creating compound sentences, we need to think about the fact that writers often like to vary their sentence structure. Okay, so this makes their writing more creative and fun to read. Today we are going to make a compound sentence by combining two simple sentences. So we have already gone over how to make simple sentences. If you need a refresher, feel free to go back in your assignments and watch videos on those simple sentences, but you should be good to go just watching even this video of how to create compound sentences. So we have 4 strategies in order to write a compound sentence. So like I said before, make sure you're writing these down. If you need to pause the video to write a sentence, feel free to do so, or you can rewind and rewatch this video anytime you like. So a compound sentence is going to be made up of one simple sentence plus one simple sentence. So you are going to get a compound sentence, one compound sentence, okay? So one simple sentence plus one simple sentence equals one compound sentence. I bet you didn't know there was math involved with writing, but now you do. So here's your strategies. And number 1, 2 simple sentences. So Ms. Herbaceous just told you it takes 2 simple sentences to make a compound sentence. So if you have 2 simple sentences, you are on your way to making a compound sentence. You're going to pick a Fanboys. And yes, there is an S at the end, Fanboys, not fanboy, Fanboys, because we cannot forget the S, which I will go over what those stand for here in just a minute. Okay, so you're going to pick a Fanboys, and then you are going to change the end mark of the first sentence to a comma. So if I have 2 simple sentences, they're both going to have periods, making them a sentence, because remember, all our sentences have to start with a capital and end with a punctuation mark. So maybe it's an exclamation point as well, but we have to remove it nonetheless and change it into a comma. In our 4th strategy, we're going to put them in this order. So you're going to have a simple sentence, a comma, a Fanboys, and then your simple sentence number 2. All right, so I know that might sound a little confusing right now, but we're going to go over a few examples here. So first, let's go over what a Fanboys is. If you haven't heard of Fanboys, that's okay. I'm here to teach you all about it. So, Fanboys. Write this down also on your paper so you can remember all of our Fanboys. F stands for for, and is A, nor is N, but is the B, or is the O, yet is the Y, S is the so. And you might be wondering why Ms. Herbaceous has these yellow stars next to only some of our Fanboys, and that is because those are used the most, okay? So when writing a compound sentence, you are mostly going to see and, but, or so. And then when you get fancy, you maybe are adding for, nor, or yet, okay? So I wrote 2 simple sentences here, and my first simple sentence is we drew stars. We drew hearts is my second simple sentence. So I've already checked off strategy 1 for writing compound sentence. I have 2 short sentences. All right, so now in order to change this into a compound sentence, I have to pick a Fanboys. So Miss Ragacious chose and that's one of my stars. Over here, it's a commonly used Fanboys. So I chose and, my second strategy used right there. Now I have to change the end mark of the first sentence to a comma. So I take away this period. I'm going to add a comma instead. So that period has now changed into a comma. I put in my Fanboy, and now I have to follow my formula. So it's short sentence number 1, comma, Fanboys, short sentence number 2. So my sentence now reads, my compound sentence is, we drew stars and we drew hearts. Okay, so now let's look at another example. Here is a short sentence, number 1. I am allergic to cats. Short sentence number 2. I love to pet them. Okay, so for my formula, I've got 2 simple sentences, so my first strategy is done. My second strategy is to pick one of my Fanboys. So a few of these Fanboys will work. I chose yet, since it's a rare one to use. I wanted to show y'all a sentence with yet. So I replaced my period from my first sentence with a comma. I added my Fanboy, and then I wrote my second simple sentence. I am allergic to cats, comma, yet I love to pet them. So when you're reading, you're not going to say comma, obviously, so the sentence is going to sound like this. I am allergic to cats, yet I love to pet them. Okay, so that's easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you can go back and watch this video, and you can copy down the front and the back of Mr. Gacious' anchor chart. And that is how you make a compound sentence. Pretty easy. Just remember your Fanboys, and anytime you want to combine sentences when writing, use our simple 1, 2, 3, 4 strategy, and you got yourself a compound sentence. All right, that's all Mr. Gacious has for you today. Hope you have a good rest of your Friday, and I will talk to you next week.